We are back in the kitchen and this is a Japanese pancake today. You know how we love pancakes. This one is a Japanese savory pancake, and I think it's just the easiest way to call it. So in our house, we call it Japanese pancakes, also known as Okonomiyaki. So I'm sure I could make the flour and mix the dough and stuff, but I am using, or the batter I should say, but I am using this brand today. There's a lot of different brands out there, but it's Okonomiyaki Okonomiyaki flour. And so here it is. I put it all in here, and the back has a recipe of how much to mix, but I'm just doing the whole bag because I'm not going to make 3 worth. I'm just going to make it in batch and freeze it. It freezes really well, so I'll make it, I'll mix it, I'll cook them all, and then I'll freeze whatever I don't think we're gonna eat at this time. So I have the whole bag of flour, and I have 2 3/4 cup of water in here. So I'll mix the water in, and I'm going to whisk it so that it becomes a batter before I mix everything else in. There we go. It's already starting to look great. It doesn't take much. So there we go. That's the batter. So I have a half a head of cabbage, but it's a lot to put in right away. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in here, and then I'm going to mix in the eggs, and then the cabbage is gonna be the last thing that I add in at the very end again. So let's break in, I'm gonna do 6 eggs. Okay, I have all the eggs cracked in. So I'm just gonna mix this in to get it all liquidy before we get the rest of the veggies in. Okay, it's looking great. You want it to be liquidy, kind of like this, so that when all the veggies come in, it'll bind it together. So I'm going to actually add in my 2 green onions first, and these are actually from my yard, one of the few things that I can grow without killing easily. So there we go, and then let's get the rest of this cabbage in. I'll do a little bit at a time since it's kind of hard to mix this all in. All right, I am going to switch to a spatula because it's easier to mix this around instead of a whisk. So let's get the rest of this all in here. There we go. And we will mix this all together. While I'm mixing, it's really up to you what kind of toppings you want to put on it. When I say toppings for cooking, because there's also toppings like sauces and seaweed and things like that. But if you actually went to an okonomiyaki shop in Japan, there are so many different kinds you can make. There's some that have cheese in it, some that have mochi, some that have different kinds of seafood, different kinds of meats. So it's really kind of a fun experience to do that, and you cook it in front of yourself, or you can also have it already cooked. It depends on the shop. But I have bacon out, and so I'm gonna put some bacon pieces on top because I think that would be really delicious, and I don't have the thin pork slices today, so I'm working with what I have, and I hope it'll be delicious. So this is what it should look like. There's some more of the batter on the bottom, and we'll mix it up before we put it on our hot plate or our griddle. So this is looking good.
Some people like to cover and steam it, especially on the first side, and they do this at restaurants as well, but mine is a hot plate. It's hard to do that, so I am not doing that this time.
So while these cook, let's talk about toppings for a sec. You saw me put on some of these little green seaweed flakes. It's called aonori. So it's a little bit different from the regular seaweed, but it's nice to sprinkle on top. And then there's also these, which are bonito flakes. Bonito is a type of fish. So it's just a type of like fish flake, dried and grated up really finely. So that goes on top as well. And this is tonkatsu sauce, but a lot of people use different kinds of sauces. This is the one that we have at our house. But it's, I guess, like a vegetable fruit sauce that is sold very commonly in Japanese or Asian stores. People also like mayo. They like to mix this with the mayo and put it on top, but we are just not big mayo people. So we do not do that, but all of these go on top as much as you'd like, and that's how we eat it. We'll show you in a bit.
That first one looks nice and brown, so let's flip the other ones over and see. It's nice and sizzly, look at that. And we don't want to let it burn on this side because it's easy to burn with the bacon bits on top. But it's so beautifully brown. Let's flip everything around and ta-da!
I don't know if you all saw my corned beef video for St. Patrick's Day, but we did make corned beef, and I only have a little bit of bacon left, so I thought, well, we have a ton of corned beef left, why not put some on and use that as our meat? It is a bit of a different flavoring, so I wasn't sure how it's going to be, but I'm going to take a little piece, and it did get a little burny on top, but with the second one, I tried to do a little bit of a covering on top so that it wasn't as burny, but let's see how this tastes. And you see all the cabbage pieces? If you don't mind it's crunchy, definitely leave it on there longer. It's not the traditional taste, but it's not super overpowering with the different flavoring of the corned beef. So I actually really like it. It's kind of a slight twist to it. So I hope everybody else likes it. I'm just gonna add it to the rest of the ones that I don't have bacon for. And if nobody else likes it, they can eat all the bacon ones and I'll eat the corned beef ones. All right, while the last ones are cooking, here is the final. As you can see, there's a lot of cabbage in there, and this is the one with the corned beef, but it's dressed up. I put some of the sauce, I put some of the green seaweed and the bonito flakes, and it's ready to eat. Itadakimasu. That bite was a little crunchy, so I probably should have cooked it longer, but I also got a little lazier this time, and I didn't cut the cabbage as small, so it might not have been as consistent, but I'm all about trying to get it easy and delicious. I don't mind it. I hope my family doesn't mind it because I actually kind of like the crunch too. It's a different texture, but there's a lot of different ways that you can enhance it. And a lot of people do way different things. They add some grated yam, they add all sorts of other seasonings, they add seafood, they add meat, they add all sorts of things. I said this before, but you can make it as difficult as you want. I'm just going with the easy, delicious way because incrementally it's just not that different for me. So I'd rather it be easy, delicious, and I still have joy in cooking versus laboring for a very, very long time and not having that much of a difference in the response that I get. So it is up to you. It is up to everyone that makes it, but let me know if you make it and what your favorite combination is. And until next time, I'll see you later.